women act a certain way now because of how the media has pushed them to say, this is how you have to act in order to get a certain level of attention.
Welcome to the Playbook, where we discuss popular topics. I'm your host, Lion, joined by my co-host, Mystery, and our resident special agent, Doc Tracy. How are you guys doing today?
Doing all right, man.
Doing outstanding.
Yeah.
Lion, I love it, baby.
But we are not alone today. Tracy, we have here with us today.
Well, today we have a very special guest who also happens to be a very good friend of mine, and as yours as well. Tiff, we know her from dance, but she's also a jack, all trades, many trades. But you know what? I'm not going to steal her thunder. I'm going to let her tell us a little bit about herself and what all of the stuff she has going on, because it's all very interesting.
I'm Tiffany, and I am a model. I'm a mom. I am a car enthusiast. I run an event called Florida Freestyle Event, and I basically pair creatives, models, photographers, car people, vendors, small businesses, and I put them together and we start traveling and,
Nice.
doing our thing. So I appreciate you guys for having me today.
That's awesome.
Wow, that's fantastic. Wait, now hold up. I missed this. Maybe, I thought, did you say your mom? I didn't know your mom.
I have 2 kids. I homeschool my kids too. For really good reasons.
Wow.
She really does that also. She's just
Now, yeah.
model, parent enthusiast. She runs an online business and she is a mom of 2. Amazing.
And a teacher.
Mystery, what are we talking about today?
Okay, today we're talking about chivalry. In today's age, 2023, is there still a place for it? What does it look like? And do we still want it? So I'm going to start off with the definition, which is very, very vague, apparently, right? Like there's no specific, like it goes all the way back to medieval times. So like even some of the definitions are like a knight who does X, Y,
Right,
Z.
yeah, it's evolved, yeah.
Exactly. So right now, the definition is a man marked by gracious courtesy and high-minded consideration, especially to women.
I like it.
So things that we consider chivalry would be, giving compliments to a lady, opening the door, sending flowers, putting away your phone when you're at dinner, when you're having a conversation with that significant other, paying for the bill when you're on the dates, but you ask somebody out. We're going to talk about that.
Whoa, wait, we're going back to another episode.
Opening the doors. Come on, guys. Walking her to the door after a date, sending unplanned texts, very sincere text in the morning and night, giving up a seat. We're gonna
talk about that later on. Yeah.
Walking on the traffic side of the sidewalk. I personally love doing that.
I do that
all the time.
Carrying heavy things for her, lending your jacket, and the list goes on and on and on. So with all those things mentioned, we're gonna let our special guest talk about her experiences and what her view of chivalry is. Let me ask you: is chivalry alive? Is it dead? What's going on?
I think chivalry is very important in this world right now, but I think it is a very lost sauce.
Yeah.
I call it a sauce. I don't think it's an art. I think it's a sauce.
Okay.
Because chivalry is not something you're born with. Chivalry is something that you decide.
Okay.
It's intentional.
It's intentional, 100%, because it's how you go to war. What is the mindset when you go to war? It's the same thing that you would do for anybody next to you, women, children, or elderly. Or the brother next to you, honestly.
I like that you brought that up because, as you said, me doing research on the definition, it didn't specifically talk about men's interaction with women. It was talking about guys and knights. So you're right. Chivalry has to do with the way the guy treats the world. And then also a woman as well. So that's something that we don't think about in 2023. It's chivalry. It's like how a man treats a woman, doesn't respect her, blah, blah, blah. But it's also how do you have an outlook on life and the world itself. So that's a really good point. What are your thoughts, Trace?
I think you guys kind of, like, chivalry, the definition as people refer to it now has evolved from the original definition to where we speak about it, usually in terms of how men treat or respect women. I think it's a dying concept, a dying art. I won't let it. It's like I say this all the time. Common courtesy is no longer common. Common decency is no longer common.
Right.
There was a time in my lifetime, because I'm the old guy in the group, where it definitely was more common than not. It's just interesting because just about almost every time, 90% of the time I'm out with my wife, somebody compliments me on, because like when she gets up to go to the, I get her chair for her when we go to sit down. When she gets up to go to the bathroom, I stand up when she stands up, and I get her chair for her when she comes back. I open doors for her. I open car doors for her. I walk beside the curb. I always walk on the outside closest to traffic. Now that actually came from a tradition from what my research and understanding was because you were protecting your female companion from carriages that would lose control, horse-drawn carriages.
No, I think that part with the walking is like on a sidewalk when you have traffic going two different ways or whatever, where they're going the opposite way. If they were to bump somebody, it would be me because I'm on the inside. She's on the outside of the sidewalk. That's my thought. That's the way me and my wife walk. But
you walk on the outside closest to the street.
No. I walk on the inside. She's on the outside closest to the street because we don't have to worry about cars. No. If we're on a sidewalk,
you're good. You're killing.
Listen.
And I know your wife. I'm telling on you, bro.
See, no. If there's parked cars, so if the car loses control, it's going to crash into a parked car. It's more of the people that are walking on the sidewalk.
So the car gonna crush her.
Hey, leave your comments below. Which side should you walk on?
Check that out. Don't bet against me. I'm like Passenger 57. Always bet on black.
Now, with that said, I want to ask a question to our special guest here. So, with chivalry, and now we're in an age where women independence is more prominent. Does one beach chivalrous? I think that would be the correct word.
Correct. Well stated.
Independence of a woman.
Absolutely not. I think that being an independent woman, especially in the day and age that we're in, and having the ability to speak and do the things that we want to do, I think that is very important for women.
Right,
but I think it would not exist if there wasn't chivalry. If there wasn't a man there to protect me, to do the things that I need to do so that I can be safe and saying what I need to say, do what I need to do, move how I need to move. If there wasn't a man standing there to protect me, have my back, whether it's my friend or my brother or my teammate or my significant other, if that man doesn't have my back in a chivalrous way, how could I ever trust them to move in the way that I need to move so I can be safe?
Let me ask you this. So let's say you're on a dinner or a date, and I go ahead, and one of the concepts of chivalry was, you would order for your lady. So you would pick out the menu, you gotta know what she wants, and when the waiter or waitress comes on to the table, you would be like, she's gonna have the duck. So would you feel undermined by him just taking over control that whole scenario there, or you think that would be acceptable? But now it's
okay. Well, let me tell you the difference between a man who is controlling and a man who is chivalrous will be a man who asks me, "Baby, what is it that you want to eat tonight, right now?" And if you don't want to raise your voice, or you don't want to speak to this waiter, I will do it. I will tell you whatever. I will order whatever it is that you want. Have whatever it is on the menu. It's not because he's picking out what I want. Absolutely not. If I wanted to, if I said, "Baby, can I have one of everything on the menu?" and he goes, "Do you want to?"
Gotcha.
But I will order that for you. No problem. Thank you, baby.
If I know what she wants and I'm ordering for her, or we've discussed and I order for her, then I may. But I never try to do it like I'm trying to order, like I'm trying to control the situation or tell her what she should be eating. You know what I mean? It's about the connection and the rapport that you have. Like I said, if she knows, I'm not that dude that's trying to control her, boss her around, and we talked about, she's like, earlier, she's like, man, I can't wait to have the, have the tilapia or whatever. And I go, she's going to have the tilapia and I'm going to, whatever, I don't think it's going to be a big deal versus like we're on a first date and we're just getting to know each other and we roll up in there and she's looking at the menu and the guy goes, "Can I take your order?" And I'm like,
She's gonna have
She's gonna have the duck, like Lion said, she have the duck and a salad. You know what I mean? As long as it's not coming across like that, I don't think it's bad to order for your lady under those circumstances. You know what I mean?
There have been some situations where it's backfired on me, like get onto an elevator. For me, it's like the lady go on first, and there's been times where the woman's like, no, you go, and then it was like, okay, and it's sort of like
awkward.
It's awkward because my training goes back to like my mother and my grandmother, and it's like them in the back of my head that are like, let the lady go on first.
Right, correct. Which is polite.
I understand like in today's world that it's, as independent women, that's what they're comfortable with. It's all good. It's just different for me because it goes against my programming. So it's enlightening.
I've had that situation where I went to open the door for someone or let somebody in the elevator first, and like their paws are hesitant. But what I do is, because I'm a little bit strong-willed, about it, is I'm just gonna go no, politely, not like I'm sounding like Teddy Pendergrass. You get in the elevator, open the door, close the door. It's not the Teddy Pendergrass thing I'm doing. It's just like, but hey, no, I insist.
Yeah,
please, before me, I'm being and if you haven't figured it out, I will go so far as to say I'm being a gentleman. Please. My mother wouldn't have me have it any other way. I'll just say, don't have my mom upset with me because I'm not gonna let you go in first. So
our question was: is chivalry dead in 2023? So this is what I want to do. So that's the question. If chivalry is dead, we haven't quite decided that just yet. Who killed it? Who killed chivalry in 2023?
Oh, he is trying to be controversial.
So now I know we're gonna opinions. Everybody's gonna have different opinions. So I'm gonna start with a special guest. If chivalry is dead,
are you sure you want to start with me?
Oh my God!
Yes, I'll bring the fire, and then we're gonna get everybody mad. So let's go.
Women act a certain way now because of how the media has pushed them to say this is how you have to act in order to get a certain level of attention.
Okay.
The media has penned a certain amount of, in my opinion, propaganda and programming on men, specifically younger men, who were not raised out of the internet age and are highly entitled, highly disruptive, highly in a place that they don't care about themselves. So how could they ever give a care about another human in the world?
There you go.
But
I was expecting that. I didn't realize what I wanted to say, but Doc, go ahead, drop some knowledge on us.
I mean, unfortunately, what she says is correct in a lot of ways. I don't know if I completely attribute like the death or the decline of chivalry and human decency solely to the information age and media, but I do think that it plays a significant role because there's a reason why the beauty industry is a multi-billion-dollar a year industry and growing. It's based on people telling you that you're not pretty enough, you're not good enough the way you are.
So buy this.
And what do people do? They go out and buy it. You know what I mean? If you grew up in an age where you've always known the internet, you've always known that's all you've ever known. You didn't have our grandmothers and our aunts and our neighbors.
Movies, by the way, not just the internet.
Different and a different standard in media.
Yeah,
a different
100%.
Standard in media, right? Where like certain things like just didn't
graphic material always exposed. Everything is always at your fingertips. Any information is always at your fingertips. There is no stopping to desensitize. They are just, all they're trying to do is desensitize you. So there is no stopping your level of sensitivity receptors of being like, okay, that was crossing the line.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how those kids grow up. So no wonder they don't even know how to open up a door. They can't even look up from their cell phone.
Oh my gosh. She brought it full circle. Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about people being disconnected and constantly on their cell phone 24/7, like we see that in the Generation Z, which I think we're going to have an expanded topic on as well. And there's so much to unpack for that. It's just, I'll say this, it's harder to relate, and it's definitely harder to relate from our generation to that generation. And it's definitely bringing out a different type of being than what we normally can identify with.
I would agree with you that media plays a big role into that. I can say, at least from my time growing up, you watch Disney movies, the prince does everything to get the girl. After he does all of that, he gets the girl. We discussed on a different episode when that doesn't go, when that doesn't
Yeah.
go as planned,
In real
we
life.
have a man crying online. Everybody
on
making fun
TikTok.
of it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think to get on the more personal level, men and women both have played a role in killing what we call chivalry. So we have on the side that men, I think they initially start with good intention to do this stuff. They'll find a couple of women that may not appreciate that, because there's some that do. And when you find a woman that appreciates that, it's one of the most wonderful things that you can interact with. But when you find those that don't, right?
23 years in, I
You
still do
learn.
flowers weekly.
Dude,
Yeah.
I got a similar story, dude. I had to
Her
find
fault.
my game, and it's funny because like there was my best friend's mother, love her to death, so much so we were like the whole family was close. Aunt Reese, right? And I was dating this girl. This like I was 19, 20, whatever, right? And I was into her, but it was sort of like backwards and forth. And
First base, second base.
like,
No, I'm just playing. You don't have to give me the base.
yes,
I
but
don't even remember the bases now. I'm
Exactly.
too old. I'm like,
Yeah.
I just want home runs.
Great,
Run every day, baby, every day.
Yeah, but the point was, she was like, "Well, why don't you tell her how you feel? Leave a message on her voicemail." And I did.
Oh,
Listen,
man.
that's the play. Don't ever do that shit. Yeah, I learned, and I never repeated that mistake again. But I learned that hey, that wasn't a way to go. Now, flip side, your boy came up, same year, a couple months later, pushed to something, had more dough, or whatever. So she tried to get back with me. It was over, so I got my revenge then. But the point is that you learn. There's different things that you learn. So like that's the feedback that I got from the opposite sex at that time. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that when I do the mentor thing. We don't have kids, do the mentor big brother thing. We're talking about like kids these days and all that other stuff. So I think about two things when we talk about that. Like the last kid I mentored, he's truly a kid of this age, the screen stuff. And it's just really, really challenging to get him to be motivated or feel something or fired up about something, get that fire in his gut. Like there's something that we all have that fire in our gut about, and probably multiple things, you know what I mean? That's allowed us to be successful in our careers and our personal lives and dance, how we got to be decent dancers, because something in us said, man, it's sometimes kids just don't have that,
Right.
Fortunately, but you compare him to the mentee I had before that, who was of a similar like age group, but he was raised by like a mom, a grandmother, and a great-grandmother that had some of the same values and things that we talk about that were instilled in us. If you speak to another human being, male or female, if I go up to you on the streets, I'm like, hey, how's it going, brother? Because I do that all the time now in real life. I speak to strangers all the time because I've had too many people tell me, speaking to them and smiling and made their day when they were having a crappy day, and I didn't even know I did it. Mm-hmm. So I'm always, that's going to be me, and I don't care. And I'm not changing that for anybody. But it's the same if you're trying to interact with people. If you do something that's good from the good of your heart, and it's not socially inappropriate or anything like that, then if they don't respond to it the way you expect or in a negative way, then you can't internalize that and let it change the good person that you are. Now let me ask you this: what about the women that are, feminists? Because I've been told, my sister said I'm a feminist in a guy's body because I'm all about, women's rights and stuff like that. But sometimes, like what Dave Chappelle, when keeping it real goes too far. Yeah. Sometimes do feminists like take it so far now that they're like trying to step into traditionally masculine roles where it's not necessarily necessary. What I mean? What do you think that whole feminist? How do you think the feminist movement?
I think feminism has definitely affected chivalry, because if we look at chivalry being a traditional thing, if feminism being more of a modern concept, that would mean that if you cannot put a traditional, one side has to be traditional when somebody's trying to be modern, right? It just doesn't match. It's just you either both have to be in a traditional way, or you're having your cake and eating it too. So that's the way I look at it.
Right.
What about in the feminist movement? Like I said, I support it. I think that.
Don't be scared.
No, I'm not.
He's like, well,
no, you guys will laugh at what I have to say about this.
No, I think that it moves. Like, I really think you're talking about roles or whatever. It doesn't matter who does what role, but you're a team. So each person has to do a role.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
And that's what it comes down to. It doesn't matter who does this or whatever, but you collectively have to be better than the sum of you individually.
Hey, come on, bro. Church.
Exactly. So whatever it is, whatever your relationship is, that's what you guys figured out, and that's the part that you play in your relationship. So that with chivalry, the relationship is what you define it to be.
I like it. And I met a lot of females that are a lot of friends that are feminists. Yeah. My wife is for sure a feminist of sorts, but I know a lot of strong women who are confident in who they are, and they're still going to allow you to be a gentleman without feeling like it threatens their strength as a woman or their femininity.
Exactly.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
Women, I've been on,
or they're feminine.
I've been on dates. I remember this blind date that I set up. I want to say like 10 years ago, and I tried to pay for the bill. Oh my God! This lady, it was like I insulted her. Like she was so offended by me trying to pay the bill. Like I was like,
Tim said, "What's wrong with her?"
I'm like, we don't have to. Okay, because I'm always used to like when it's a friend, whatever. We go out have a couple of drinks. I'll pay the bill. You pay the bill. Something like that.
Right.
And it's like a big thing. Like I understand she may feel that I may be entitled. We talked about that before.
Right.
So, like it's the $100 dinner. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, what am I expecting out of a $100 dinner? You know. So yeah, that stuff happens. But Tiffany, what you have to say? I know you're ready to blow up. Have something to say?
I'm not ready to blow up. This is actually pretty funny. You talked about survival.
Right.
And you talked about how it's sad to hear that every single one of you have had at least one story that when you were a true gentleman, not because let's even take out the fact that like women and men want to sleep with each other. Okay, let's just take out that fact completely.
Yeah, we can take that away. I hate to see it go, but yeah. I like.
But let's
take it away. Let's be adults about it.
Let me say this.
We'll leave that
in. The fact is that every single one of you guys have had just not a good experience after trying to be a real, true gentleman, and not because you were trying to physically get anything.
Right, I knew what you meant. Yeah, right. There was no ulterior motive. Right.
No ulterior motive. And what breaks my heart is you have to understand that out of the woman's survival, she responded that way. Mm-hmm. Out of the woman's survival, she responded that way. And it's because she had never been offered that level of care before that wasn't attached to something that had to be given or taken from
right,
her.
Exactly. Okay.
So whether it was something security, safety, love, intimacy, something had to be taken from that woman for her not to understand that there was a chivalrous level of trust between another human and that person for her not to accept that as a kind gesture. Yeah. That's the first and foremost. That's the saddest part about this, because it didn't just happen to one of you. It happened to all of you, and I'm sure more than once.
Right, and you know what? I think that's brilliant. That's a brilliant statement.
So then let me tell you this. I would say I would say a first gen feminist. Okay? I agree with when feminism first started coming out. It first started taking wave. It started actually building up women and building up their voice and building up their vote and building up the credibility behind their brains. Because truthfully, feminism only exists because of how the world tried to propagate that women were only a body and not a brain.
Historically, like you're saying, very recent in our lifetimes, women didn't have the options. They didn't have the choices. So they sometimes, just to be out on their own and not be under their parents' roof, they had to marry a guy. They weren't given the opportunity to come up with a skill, a trade, or whatever. Right. So they had to marry some dude who maybe thought it was okay to slap him once a week and only talk to him. Or, there was even so they basically, out of survival, had to deal with some dude who they didn't really love.
Who wasn't a man who deserved to
have
be loved in that way.
That's right. Yep.
If you are not a man who deserves to be loved in that way, then don't expect a woman to reflect that upon you. A woman is only a reflection of her man. If she cannot safely be in your presence and say, this is all of me and I accept all of you because of how you come across to me. That's all it is. That's all chivalry is how do you come across to another human? And what is the honest truth behind that? Where is the trust behind that? Where is like the, I don't need anything from you for this interaction to happen because we're just being kind.
So just to have a consensus here, Mystery, is chivalry dead in 2023?
No, it's just evolved.
All right, we're gonna give it short. That's good. Our special guest, is chivalry dead in 2023?
No, I just think the higher percentage of men and women that use it are going to be the only successful ones in this next coming season.
I like that. That's a topic for another discussion. I mean, for another episode. That's actually another episode. I've made a mental note about that.
You're welcome.
What you said, yeah, thank you. Good looking out. Good looking out.
No, keep it short and sweet. Is chivalry dead?
Why you tell me to keep it short and sweet?
We know you. We know you.
What you trying to say? Say like,
Sweet.
I know myself too, so I'm not even shocked. I'm not offended. It's all about introspect. The line was like, okay, keep it short and sweet. Yeah, I think that chivalry's not dead. I refuse to like let go. I refuse. As long as I'm breathing, it's not dead.
That's
because
right.
I'm going to keep being a gentleman. I'm going to keep being chivalrous. I'm going to keep being considerate to others, regardless of how the world does, what the world does around me. And I think that as long as I know other people
and teach younger generations
and as a mentor can like reach, like if I mentor 10 people and I get to one of them,
that's all that matters.
Then that's all that matters because we know the future. There's hope for the future.
That was the episode. I think we all had a great time. We love having you. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well.
Thank you guys for having me.
Tiffany, where can people find you?
Okay, well, you can find me on all my social medias. I'm on Instagram as Glam Farm Gal and Florida Freestyle Event. And I'm on Facebook and all of those fun things as well. But if you find me on Instagram, you can follow me, give all of my, there's my Florida Freestyle.
Florida Freestyle, boom, right there.
This is my car show.
Yeah,
this is where I do my car shows, my models, photographers, vendors, small businesses, sponsorships, all kinds of stuff. It's super cool what we're doing and how fast we're growing. So I really appreciate you guys having me out here. I hope to come back soon because it was like a lot of fun.
Thank
you so much.
Sure.
Final thoughts.
I think we had some good discussions today. I think some very, very insightful things, even some potential future topics of discussions for other shows.
Yeah.
Before I throw it to Mystery to close out the show, if you made it this far into the video, do us a huge favor and like, subscribe, share this on your social media. Check out the links we have on the description.
Bang that like button.
A lot of stuff. Mystery, do us a favor and take us home.
Hey, it's been a great show. We appreciate our guests. Thank you for joining us. This has been a lot of fun. It's the Playbook. We're bringing more topics and issues that you'd like to hear about. If there's anything specific, make sure you put in the comments. We'll talk about it on the next episode. Until then, we're the Playbook. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next time.